Hello, U.S. history students. This is just a quick overview. You can read this on your own, but we're looking at the presidential election of 1800, and it's sort of in the backdrop of the quasi-war against France and the Alien and Sedition Acts, both of which we've talked about. And so what happens is states have their own elections, and then there is, they select electors who are supposed to go and represent the state's views. So there's an initial election we'll see that happens from April to October, and then there is the actual election, which here is October 31st to December 6th, and it takes that long because it takes them a while to travel places at the time. And so if we scroll down here, they fixed the flaw with the 12th Amendment so they wouldn't have the crazy problems that they have in here. And you should also notice the 3/5 clause and how that gives more power to Jefferson, because Adams probably would have won if slaves counted as zero. And so here's this famous quote that Jefferson won the Temple of Liberty on the shoulders of slaves. And we'll be talking more about contradictions in Thomas Jefferson's life coming up. But so these are the candidates: Adams, Burr, Jefferson, and Pinckney. And Adams and Pinckney is sort of his running mate for Adams, and Burr is sort of Jefferson's running mate. But as we'll see, Burr sees an opportunity and decides to contest Jefferson for the presidency, which sounds weird, but when you read more of it, you'll get the idea. So I'll let you read this background here. They get to voting, and the voting, as I said, lasted April to October. And they came to vote in New York City, which was the capital. And the two parties were tied, 65 all, and South Carolina gave the election to Jefferson and Burr. But the way the Constitution was written, the second place vote getter becomes vice president, and the Democratic Republicans didn't have one of their electors abstain for voting for Burr. So you get two votes, and for each elector, and you're supposed to cast one for president, one for vice president. Well, just one. Today we do it that way. We divide it, but back then it was you vote for two people, and you're supposed to have one person in your party not go for the vice president, and that way the president will have one more vote. We'll talk about this more in class, but basically what happened was it was a tie, and I think you see that up here. It was 73 each for Jefferson and Burr, and I think the actual numbers, there's a table over here. Yeah, so here are the results. Jefferson and Burr both got 73 votes, and if they'd done it right, Burr would have gotten 72 votes, and they would have voted for some other random person the way the Federalists did here. The Federalists gave Adams 65 and Pinckney 64, so if they had won, Adams would have been president and Pinckney vice president. But as it turned out, Jefferson and Burr have this runoff, and they vote 36 times in the House. They keep voting. And then we'll talk about Alexander Hamilton's role in getting some of the states to change their minds. So in the first ballot, it was 862, and the second to 35th ballot, it was the same. Then finally on the 36th ballot, a few people switched from to Jefferson, and the threshold number that you needed to win the election was 9, because there were 16 states at the time, so a majority would be one more than 8, and then the rest of that goes through here. So I think that overview will be helpful, and as you read through it, obviously put your questions in the form, and we will talk about it. All right, thanks for watching.